quote this on me. There is no way the Orioles or Red Sox make the playoffs this season. Yeah, yeah. There's no way. There's no way.
For me, I gotta build a snowman.
I don't think all Mavs fans look into the stats like I do.
I'm mixing names, swapping pitchers' names, and everyone today. So thanks for catching.
I've given up on Drew Lock. I think you trade him.
I set the bar really low at the NBA predictions.
How are we talking about the Thunder in a MLB preview? I have no idea.
That's a perfect name. What you said, name brand players. Like, it's not the Great Value Target brand toilet paper or whatever. It's the Charmin Ultra Strong.
I don't know if Nick Nurse is the coach for the Raptors. I don't know if he's the reason why they won the 2019 championship. I feel like that was more of a team effort. Yeah, this questions the firing of Dwayne Casey, who I think is a very underrated coach. He's making the best of the Detroit Pistons situation.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. I was surprised that the Clippers gave up Lou Williams.
Everything's going wrong for the Lakers at the wrong time.
The Mavs cannot say we do not miss Seth Curry shooting threes.
Them losing like 40 players to the Chargers who play online.
I'm just gonna, and it lands to the Dolphins. I'm just gonna have to throw my hands into the air.
I agree 100%, and the reason why I agree is because this is a terrible trade for the long term.
To me, the Capitals really pushed all their chips for this season. So happy belated birthday to Madison Bowie.
Sam Bennett's someone I really expected to be a better player.
Hello, I'm Mike Grimes, and you've been listening to Outsiders Opinions with Kevin and Austin.
What's up, y'all? Welcome to our NBA Opinions of the Week, right after the end of the NBA trade deadline expiring. It's over. A lot of trades happened. We're going to go through each trade that happened today, not the ones beforehand. We'll do that another time. But Austin and I both discussed the winners, and then if we disagreed, we suspend judgment, and we did that on a couple of trades. So listen to that. But the first one we will be doing is between the Spurs and Celtics. The Celtics gave up a first, Romeo Langford, and Josh Richardson for Derek White. I like the addition of Derek White, but I just feel the Celtics gave up way too much for him.
Yeah, I think Derek White is definitely a quality player, but he's not worth what he was giving up for Josh Richardson and a first-round pick. So I think you and I both agreed that the Spurs win this trade outright.
Now we go to the Raptors and Spurs. The Spurs sent Thaddeus Young, Drew Eubanks, and 2022 second-round pick to Toronto, and then San Antonio receives Goran Dragic and a lottery-protected 2022 first-round pick. I think we both agreed the Spurs won this because they got a first-round pick out of it.
Yeah, I 100% agree. There's not much to touch on. Goran Dragic will be released. He needed the Clippers. Maybe he goes back to the Heat. The Mavs are a team looking at him. There's a good bit of teams up there that are looking at him, but I think this first one was trade.
Yeah, we both agree on that. And now we go to the 4-team trade. It involved Sacramento, Milwaukee, the Clippers, and the Pistons. The Pistons received Marvin Bagley Jr. The Clippers received Rodney Hood and Shemi Ojale. And then Milwaukee received Ibaka and 2 future second-round picks and cash. And then Sacramento receives Dante DiVincenzo, Trey Lyles, and Josh Jackson. We both agreed Milwaukee won this trade because the addition of Serge Ibaka can be huge, in my opinion, as they try to make another deep title run and they have a versatile defender in Ibaka.
Yeah, I 100% agree. And we also have the Clippers as definite losers. They may be punting on the season while I don't know if that's what's happening here or not. They may be a big play in the buyout market. I don't know yet. But I'm not that confident that this is a good move for the Clippers, especially giving away Serge Ibaka, who has championship experience, a lot of playoff experience, and can shoot and play good D. So I like this for the Bucks, but I don't know how this works for the Clippers.
Now we go to the Houston and Celtics trade, which is where the Celtics sent Dennis Schroeder and That was basically it. Dennis Schroeder, actually, Enes Freedom Canner, and Bruno Fernando, and Boston just receives Daniel Theis. You and I disagreed a little bit on this because I feel the addition of Daniel Theis is a win for the Celtics, and they got rid of Dennis Schroeder because they added a great another point guard in Derek White, who's better defensively than Schroeder.
Yeah, and while that may be the case, I'm not that confident that that is everything going on here. I, I I like them moving off of. They're going to release Enes Kanter, which will save cap space, and I like Romeo Langford, and I like Bruno Fernando. So I think this trade could be a positive for the Houston in the future, but it's going to be a minute before we actually see whether or not that's true.
Yeah, and then we have the Magic and Celtics. We kind of suspended. Another thing is suspend decisions, and that's what specifically the Celtics and Magic, because the Celtics sent the Magic. I'm trying to pull it up. They sent PJ Dozier, Bol, and a second round pick and cash to the Magic, and the Celtics just received a second round pick. And so the Celtics did this to get rid of salary, and we won't see how Bobo or Dozier turn out because they're out for the season, and we'll see what those second round picks turn into.
Yep.
Now we're leaving the best for last. We'll do Nets and Sixers. This one definitely made my jaw drop because there were rumors about it, but I just didn't believe it. What about you?
Oh, 100%. I did not expect Simmons to get traded this season. I think I said that before.
And Simmons for Harden, and then the Sixers. So the full trade is the Sixers receive James Harden, and I'm trying to get it up, and then of course the Nets receive Ben Simmons plus Curry plus 2 first round picks, which is crazy. And the Sixers also got LaMarcus Aldridge. And I believe that is the whole trade. Correct, Austin?
Yeah, there may be some updating later, but I'm pretty sure that's it.
So, you and I disagree because I feel the Nets won this trade. You do add Curry. You also add Ben Simmons, who's who's a great defender. I don't know how you're going to work on him with the offense because I think he can be a great passer, but just him shooting. And I really like the addition of a first round pick or 2 first round picks. One is this year, and the other one was in 2027. But to me, the addition of that really, they can use that on a player or they can use it to trade to get an established star in another deal. So I just really like that. And I just feel with James Harden, I don't know, because he forced his way into Brooklyn last year, and now he forced his way out of Brooklyn to the Sixers. So I'm just wondering how long does he decide that he stay with the Sixers until he decides, maybe I want to go somewhere else.
Yeah, I think Harden's going to be happy with the Sixers because I feel like the team as a whole is really is in the frame of mind of wanting to win. And while I don't think the Nets aren't in that way, I think he's a little bit concerned with the whole Kyrie situation. So, yeah, I'm going to have to wait before I actually make my judgment on this. And while I do think right now the 76ers won it, if Simmons does turn out to be everything he is already on defense, and then he upgrades his offense, I'll be happy with what he is.
And now the final one, I say this for a reason. Our teams both made a trade with each other. The Mavs sent Kristaps Porzingis and a second round pick to the Wizards for Dinwiddie and Davis Bertans. And to me, I have to wait to see what Beal and KP look like. And I just want, if KP plays the same amount of games or a little bit more games with the Wizards than he did with the Mavs, then I give it to the Wizards. Because when KP's healthy, he's amazing. It's just how many times is he going to be healthy? Because to me, the past 2 years, or as long as we've had him, he does have the knee. He had the knee injury, then he re-injured his knee in the bubble. But then there are just some lengths of games when he'll have a toe injury or back injury, and I know Dinwiddie has a major injury with his knee, but I just haven't seen. It's to me, there's one constant, or there's one issue with Dinwiddie, and that's his knee. With Porzingis, it's his knee, but then you also have other injuries that just pop up out of nowhere.
Yeah. The Wizards are saving money. They're getting a better defensive piece. Davis and Dinwiddie have both struggled with the Wizards this season and in the past, before the season with Davis. So I'm happy as a Wizards fan with this deal. I don't really have to wait. I say the Wizards won the trade, but I understand your issues. I think saving cap this season and in the future, and getting a second round pick, and you never know how good the player can be. We've seen a lot of good second round picks, but an extra pick, you can never have too many picks. So
Yeah.
I'm totally fine with this trade as a Wizards fan.
And then you also made another trade today, and that was Montrezl Harrell.
We made two other trades, by the way.
Two other trades.
We traded away Aaron Holiday to the Suns.
Oh, okay. I missed that. I just remember Montrezl Harrell going to Hornets.
Yeah, we picked up Ish Smith and Vernon Carey. We're losing Beal for the year, who's really been our ball distributor. So now we get Ish Smith, who's played on the team previous, and knows the system and is a good point guard. So I think we also made that trade knowing we were going to trade Spencer. So I like the trade.
Yeah, the thing about Spencer that I'm worried of, I just heard he had problems in the locker room, and if he didn't have problems, then I'm probably liking this trade a little bit more because the Mavs were linked to Dinwiddie in the offseason, but they just couldn't work it out. And maybe he's their fallback plan if they lose Brunson. I hope they don't lose Brunson, but to me, it seems like the Mavs are kind of punting on this season because I don't know what our big rotation is going to be. And you did mention the defense aspect of KP as he's gotten better, because he was good in the bubble, and then he struggled a little bit last season, but now he's starting to get better. So I'm just curious to see how it happens, and I don't know what this Mavs front office is going to do. It seems like they just made a trade to make a trade because I wanted KP gone. It's just I don't think I would have taken this deal. I would have just kept KP.
Yeah, I agree. I would not have made this trade if I was the Mavs GM.
But maybe there's something they know about KP that we don't know.
True.
But we'll see. And now, were your expectations met, Austin?
I'd say so, and I'd probably say that they were also exceeded. I did not anticipate there to be this many big name trades. I thought there was going to be a lot of trades, but not to this extent with the big names that are included. And I'm kind of happy they were because I didn't always think that. I thought teams were going to play really, really, really safe, and they didn't. They went all out.
Yeah, I would say my expectations were met. They weren't. Well, actually, they were exceeded. To me, the thing that's surprising me about this is Westbrook is still a Laker. I don't know. What
Yeah, but his contract, biggest contract in the league right now besides John Wall, hard to move those deals.
But to me, I feel.
And sorry to interrupt. The Lakers have no picks, so they can't give a team picks to get them off their contract. So.
Well, yeah, I see your point. It's just to me, I almost thought going into this, Westbrook was going to get traded before Simmons, and that just wasn't the case. Because to me, Simmons just didn't make sense with like his shooting and just like how he was reacting or acting with the Sixers. I didn't think a team wanted to get near that. But the Sixers and Nets had a similar deal that worked out. So I just really thought the Lakers were going to pull something off to get Westbrook out of there.
Yeah, I don't really know if that's possible, but I understand your point.
And then so they're exceeded because I was shocked with the James Harden and Ben Simmons trade, and then the Mavs trade was crazy. And now the effect on the league, I feel the West. I don't think anything changed in the West, and who I think can win the West and win the championship. But I think it has changed in the East.
I'd say in the West, it has changed because if the Nuggets were to play the Mavs before this trade in a playoff series, I would have taken the Mavs. But right now, I'm taking the Nuggets. I think Jokic puts up 65 points because they have no paint defense, and when Jokic gets hot, he scores 100. So I think Jokic absolutely dominates the paint, rebounding wise and scoring wise, and then they win the series. Probably in 7.
Yeah.
But
If you had said that, I think I would have taken Nuggets, even before everything.
I think
I would have
KP
taken
does
Nuggets.
enough on defense to stunt the Nuggets. I don't know if Jamal Murray's going to be back. Now, Jamal Murray, if I knew Jamal Murray was going to be back, I definitely would have taken him either way. But I would have taken Mavs before this because I trusted in the paint defense. But now without that, I don't know who stops Jokic in the West when it comes to defensive wise. It's going to have to come to Gobert, but Gobert has proven in the past that he has struggled against Jokic. You know, that may be just how good Jokic is, but he's going to be hard to stop in the playoffs.
Yeah, to me, with the Mavs, maybe they could have won a first round series before they made this trade, but now I definitely think they're not going to win a first round series. I hope I'm wrong. It's just I'm starting to believe in the Mavs, and then this trade happened, and I kind of went back to my okay, great, because I was thinking maybe I was wrong about like their front office moves, like adding Nico Harrison and getting Jason Kidd as coach, and like Jason Kidd was making good moves as a coach. But then Nico and him make this decision with Mark Cuban probably. So I'm kind of back to like, this stinks because you still have Luca, but to me, I think you're wasting Luca's another year of Luca because I don't know how long he's gonna be here. So I know I'm rambling about the Mavs, and then to me, the East has changed because I feel now the Sixers are a threat depending on Harden and Embiid and how they play. But then to me, the Nets seem to be a better threat. And then you still have the Bulls and the Bucks, who I think got better. So I think the Sixers came into the conversation of can they win the East and maybe win a championship. But it's going to be
true,
heavily reliant on Harden and Embiid.
That's true, but the 76ers have had that expectation the past like 4 years, and they haven't really done much with it. They've underperformed, I think, every season.
That's true. They did lose to the Hawks last year. And I just like the depth I think the Nets added with the other players they added with Seth Curry. And then I thought they were going to do something with those picks, but they didn't. So I'm very curious on what they do with that. And then I'm surprised the Bulls didn't make any moves, but I really like the addition of Serge Ibaka to the Bucks.
Yeah, I agree. I think the East will be uh, a mess come playoff time, and I'm excited because I think it's very top heavy, and that's sometimes good for the playoffs. But even though at the bottom the East are still better than the West, record wise the West is more top heavy, but I think that's because the very bottom of the West isn't all that great with the Rockets, the Pelicans, teams like that. But playoff time, I think, is going to be chaotic between those top teams, especially when we get in the second round, especially the conference championship will probably be amazing in the East.
Yeah, I feel the East is the better out of the West because I feel there are a lot of better teams in the East than the West. The West team's very top heavy to me. So we both agree on that. Any final thoughts?
Nope. I really want to see how Harden versus 76ers and how all these trades work out between teammates.
Yeah, I'm very curious too to see what deals were set up because there were deals that happened today, and I think that heavily impacted free agent. They heavily impacted free agency, as we talked about the cap a little bit beforehand with like the Wizards, but we'll talk about that more when we get to the trades that happened before today. But this is our episode today, and thank you for listening to Outsiders Opinions.